10 to 10. So today, 52 weeks to the day since the shootings in Christchurch. Ryan Bridge, Magic Talks Drive Time host, is in the Garden City for the day. Good morning, Ryan. So what's your plan for the day? What's your plan for the day? Who are you talking to and what events are you looking to be at today?
Well, I started the day with a bit of a dust-up with Lianne Dalziel. See, here's the thing about Lianne Dalziel. She's the Mayor of Christchurch, of course, and played an important role on the day, and we'll talk about that later on the show. But I met her this morning outside the Al Noor Mosque in Deans Ave, and we talked about that day, and we talked about, she was at a climate march with those students on that day, on that afternoon, and she had to basically help them all stay within the building that they were in the central Christchurch. They were all kind of on lockdown. But she is the Mayor of Christchurch, and so today I asked her a couple of questions about that serious fraud office probe. Have you seen what's going on with that?
Absolutely. She and Phil Goff are both being investigated by the Serious Fraud Office, and they, frankly, both in their position should be answering questions from the media about it, but I presume she didn't want to talk about it.
She didn't want a bar of it, Peter. I tell you what, I've had some frosty exchanges with ministers and politicians over the years. This one was out of the park. She basically said, how dare you ask a question like that on a day like this outside of a mosque? To which I replied, well, you've got Muslim ratepayers too who have an interest in how corrupt or otherwise you might be as mayor of the city. And I think it's important you ask it. She wouldn't answer a single question and became quite agitated. So we'll play that for you this afternoon. But, of course, also we'll be reflecting on what happened here in Christchurch 52 weeks ago, as you say. And we're going to speak to a couple of people. I'm about to go and meet Farid Ahmed again. You remember Farid, who lost his wife, Husna? He's a big fan of your show, actually, Peter. He said to pass on. He listens to Magic Talk and is a big fan. So I'm going to go and meet him shortly. And we're also going to speak to Tamel. He's the guy that was shot 9 times and managed to survive. He hid under a dead body to help him do that, and a metal tooth in his mouth stopped a bullet hitting his brain. So he's, incredibly lucky. So I'll talk to him today as well. But look, I don't want today's show to be about, grief porn. Frankly, a lot of people get into that. I don't want it to be revisiting too much what happened, but I just want to know how these guys are getting on a year later. It's a year without his wife for Farid. How's he doing? It's a year after a lucky escape for Tamel. How's he doing now? What's he up to? It'll be more of a catch-up and a check-in than revisiting what was a really traumatic day for this city.
Absolutely fair question about how people are feeling a year on. Do you get any sense of an environment in Christchurch today where there is recollection of what happened on this day 52 weeks ago? Because, having been in Christchurch myself in recent times, it's as if it's all sort of passed on. There will be certain politicians, certain high-profile people, and obviously the Muslim community will still be feeling the pain. But is there any real sense around the city that you feel that they are going to commemorate something pretty horrible a year ago?
Look, certainly within the Muslim community here, it's about the Friday prayers. So there is a service being held on Sunday, and all the politicians and every man and his dog will be there. But actually, I get the sense that the Muslim people here don't really give a stuff about Sunday. They're here for the Friday prayers. That is what they do. I mean, that's what they were doing the day that this awful thing happened. So my sense is, look, the Muslim community is going to remember this in their own way. There'll be a parade and a sideshow going on Sunday with the politicians who want their photo opportunities, etc. My sense is the Muslim community isn't very interested in that, and that they are more focused on today's prayers, and I'm sure that they will, as they kneel and as they bow their heads, they will be remembering that awful moment at around 1:40 p.m. on the 15th of March 2019 when this madman went in there with a gun. They'll just be quietly reflecting on that and talking to their God about it. That's my sense of what they're feeling. And the rest of the sideshow, well, we know how it works, don't we?
We do, and I just don't know why we're even doing it on Sunday, frankly, because the Muslim community doesn't want it. They don't do anniversaries, as has been well reported. And then you've got this whole coronavirus thing too, where, public gatherings are being unrecommended, shall we say.
Well, that's right. And it was funny, actually, meeting with Lianne Dalziel this morning. I went to shake her hand, and she put her hand she put her hand on her heart, and she did a little bow because of coronavirus. So very, very diplomatic, very PC, of course, from the likes of Lianne Dalziel. So that's what we'll probably expect from Jacinda Ardern this weekend. Everyone's been wondering, will she shake, won't she shake? I think what they're going to do is put their hand on their heart and do a little bow.
No hugging.
No hugging. I did joke. I said, I'll give you a big hug and a kiss. She didn't like that. But anyway, so there's 4,000 people today at the Friday prayers at Horncastle Arena. There's the service on Sunday at Horncastle Arena. I mean, this is a lot of people, and you're hearing from the World Health Organization, hey, countries out there in the world, you're not actually taking this threat seriously enough. Sure, we've only got 5 cases here in New Zealand, but Italy a month ago had 3. Now they've got 9,000. Let's just maybe be a bit more ballsy about some of the calls we're making with these events. You know, do they really need to happen? Would it be the end of the world if some things were postponed? Probably not. And if that means that we can avoid becoming Italy, then, you know, it seems like a sensible thing to me to be doing. But in the meantime, we'll just hold our hearts and bow, Peter. Indeed.
I've got bad news for you, Ryan. It's not 9,000 in Italy. It's 15,000, by the way.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. 2,000.
I was ready.
Yeah, 2,651 in the last 24 hours.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's going crazy there. Yeah.
Did you read that article from Sam Morgan? Did a great one for the newsroom about.
No.
It's brilliant because he sets out. He says, you know, the governments aren't understanding what an exponential growth curve is. So you look at the rate of infection, and then you look at each person infecting 2 to 3 people, and then that person infecting 2 to 3 people, and you start to see how you can go, how Italy went from 3 cases so quickly to thousands, and how that should really be worrying us. I don't get the sense, at least at this stage, we'll wait and see what Jacinda Ardern does later today. She might announce a travel ban, she might cancel some of these things. I don't get the sense that they really have got their heads around that yet, Peter.
You're probably right, but I take some solace in the fact that we're an island nation and we don't have people driving over the border to come to us. What we can do is control our borders, and I'm asking questions as to whether or not we are controlling our borders the way that we should be. Hey, Ryan, lovely talking to you. I hope you have a memorable day in Christchurch for, is that the right word to use, memorable day? I'm sure it will be memorable as you commemorate what happened 52 weeks ago, and I'm sure that you will have some fascinating conversations and some very sympathetic conversations with some members of the Muslim community there today. And I hope Lianne Dalziel comes back and talks to you at some stage in the future.
So do I. I'm not holding my breath. Peter, I'm not holding my breath. Cheers, mate.
Okay. Ryan Bridge, Magic Talk Drive Time host, live from Christchurch this afternoon from just after 4 o'clock. So there you go, a politician not prepared to answer questions about important matters, even if it might be a day like today. And what she played the Greta Thunberg on, Ryan. How dare you on a day like today ask me questions about that? Well, I'm sorry, Ms. Mayor. You are being investigated by the Serious Fraud Office. You know, fraud. It's not something that anybody should do, let alone elected politicians. There is an investigation going on. Perhaps some comment from you, some public comment from you would be appropriate. Just saying. It's coming up to 10 o'clock here on Magic Talk.
Turn up the feel-good with the music you know and love on Magic Music. Here on 7:02 AM, turn up the conversation with Magic Talk.
Lipospheric vitamin C. The vitamin C the world is talking about. Lipospheric vitamin C.
At 1:40 PM on March the 15th, 2019. New Zealand changed forever.
Chaotic scenes in Christchurch as 2 mass shootings spark panic, with dozens feared dead.
My uncle just called me. He has seen many people lying on the ground.
Police officers have been hiding behind cars with rifles, screaming at people to leave, to vacate the area as quickly as possible.
Christchurch was hit. by the worst act of terror that this country has ever seen.
And then next minute I just turned to my right and just saw people running out of the mosque.
Hearing that shooting after shooting after shooting, I could hear screaming and crying, and saw some people were, drop dead.
I saw a guy in full military gear with what looked like a really high-powered gun.
The blood is splashing on me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, it's going to happen to me now.
This is one of New Zealand's darkest days.
A year on, we remember the lives of those that were tragically killed on March the 15th, 2019.
What do you want people to remember about Husna today?
She died saving others. She had so much love for other people.
The Ryan Bridge Drive Show, live from Christchurch on the first anniversary of the Christchurch mosque attacks. Only on Magic Talk.
Kia ora, good afternoon, New Zealand. It has just gone 9 minutes after 4. You're on Magic Talk with me, Ryan Bridge. What you're listening to there is some of our coverage, News Hub Magic Talk coverage of what happened exactly 12 months ago this weekend. I'm broadcasting to you this afternoon live from Christchurch, where I've been meeting with many of those who were affected, people who lost wives, people who were shot at, people who managed to escape with their lives, and who are, to this day, the lucky ones. And 1 year on, I think it's important we talk about this day, but not to dwell too much on what happened, but to talk about a year on, what's happening with these people. And what I'm hearing are stories about PTSD, flashbacks. I spoke to somebody today, and you'll meet him later in the program, who was shot 9 times, hid himself under other people's dead bodies just to survive. And he can't help but see those images every day. When he wakes up, the terrorist is the first person he sees. And this is a year on. It's the stress. It's the widows struggling with their groceries. It's the everyday life effects of what happened 12 months ago that we will talk about, at least in part, this afternoon. But I want to hear from you. Listening to that, you must remember where you were, what you were doing when you heard the news. What went through your mind? Did you believe that something so awful could happen here in New Zealand? Did you believe it? I think a lot of people were in shock. What were you doing that day? Where were you when you heard the news? And what did you think of it? What was your gut reaction to it? 0800 844 747. I want to hear from you this afternoon. I want to hear your stories. Also, many of you in the confusion weren't sure where it was happening, who it was happening to, why it was happening, and for a long period of time were worried about your loved ones, your friends, your family. And that process of trying to find out was agonizing for you. 0800 844 747. I'd like to hear from you this afternoon here on Magic Talk. It's just gone 11 minutes after 4. Lines are all open for you now. We'll get to your calls in just a few moments.
This is the Ryan Bridge Drive Show. Magic Talk.
Hisham El-Zazor lay beneath the bodies of his fellow worshippers in the Al Noor Mosque that day. He'd arrived as a refugee from Syria with his wife and 3 children just 7 months prior. Violence, of course, was a way of life over there, but nothing could prepare him for what he encountered here in Christchurch that day. He's with me in the studio. Hisham, welcome to the show. Can we start, take me back to that day. What were you doing before any of this stuff happened? What were you doing on that day?
In that day before Friday, I was working in building company, Academy building, and in that day I take off because usually I came as a refugee under church program, sponsors. It's first time in New Zealand, this program, and I was involved in this in the church community. In that day, Friday, they invite me to go for a trip to Fairley. It's for farm and just for 2-3 days. And my plan, it was go to the Bray first, and then after I back, I was just pick up my things, and with my wife, we was just confusing to bring all the things to be ready for the trip, the children.
So a bit of excitement. You had a trip coming.
Yeah, trip, and all my things I was confusing to be if we will miss something or and then just I was wait my friend with because usually in that day I don't have a car. My friend, he was come to me and take me by his car to the mosque, and then I finish all the things, and I thought I'm 100% I'm ready for the trip. Then, okay, I told my wife I will go to the mosque, be ready. The children, they will be ready. 3 o'clock we should go to the community to go to the trip, to this trip.
You were early that day. Usually you're a bit later.
Yeah, usually I go later to the trip, but in this day I went there early. I don't know why, just yeah, sometimes when anything's happen, just you realize after that there are many signs take you there.
And so just for those who don't know what happened to you, what did happen to you in that mosque?
Yeah, when I went there, I was it was the first time I go early that day, and I went there with my friends, with his son and another child at a high school, and we came to the mosque. First we went to the second or the third line, and we start to pray first, and it just maybe took with us 5 minutes. Then the shooting, or not the shooting, first we hear sounds like shooting. Then I thought this is, and I hear someone, he says, there are something wrong with the electricity. Yeah, no one can believe this should be something like shooting. Some people, they thought maybe it's some game or some show or hiding camera or something like that. And some people, they thought there are something wrong with the electricity make the sounds or something like that.
Because you're in suburban central Christchurch.
Yeah. It's
so what else would it be but an electrical fault?
Just like this. Then I still like shock and sit like this and look what will happen. Then I start see the bullets come to the walls around me, but I still confusing and watch the people what they do, and I wait someone, he will laugh or he will tell me it's a joke. Then until the people, they start run, and someone, he come to me and he crush on me, and then I realize this is danger. And then I try to stand, but because the people, it was very there no chance to stand, and I continue by my hands and by my legs.
It's chaotic.
Yeah, then it's my luck. He start shoot on the top, and I was under because I was walking my hand and my leg. Because of that, I almost come to the front door. Then, because he start shoot on the top, all the people, they fall on me, and I couldn't move. Then I still there all the time. The people start say the Islamic words, and I try to catch someone, his hand next me, and another one in the another side, to just that, and there are 2 people on my back. I couldn't move, and also I could. Then the first bullet came to my leg, and then the second bullet came, and it is still for maybe 7 minutes or 8 minutes until every time the shooting, just for 2-3 minutes. Then he go, then he back again. Every time I think he's finished, but then he back again. Yeah. After that, just I heard there are no shooting yet, and then I start hear some people, they cry, and some people, they start move, and then I try to move myself. Some people, they ask me to help them. I try all my best to help some people as I can, and then I start to see the police. They start telling me and say, if you can move, can you come here? It could still danger. And just I help someone, he can't move because all the bullets in all his body. I try to help him a little bit. Then I realize my friends who I came with him, he's just, his head, he's just maybe, he's very close from me, and he was taking his last breath. Then I was very shocked in that time. Just I was look at him and try to do something for him.
This is Mustafa?
Mustafa, yeah.
Your friend, and you were supposed to have coffee with him.
Yeah, usually every Friday, if he will not come to my house, I will go to his house. We drink a coffee, and when we were in our way to the mosque, I was talking to him. What do you think when we will finish the prayer? He told me, what you have today? I told him I have the trip today. Then he told me, okay, I will come to your house. We'll drink for half an hour coffee, and then you can go to your trip.
So here you are in the mosque where you went to pray before going on this trip, this exciting trip with your family, and within minutes you are lying next to your dead friend.
Yeah.
So a huge, huge shock to you. How did you go from that to watching the video? Because in the immediate aftermath of that, I understand that you watched the video that the gunman had. Why did you watch the video?
For myself, maybe it's like to still remember this is like because this is different in New Zealand. Nothing happened like this before. And this is happened to us here in this place. And for myself, this is the first time I'm involved in this. And many people, I know them, they some of them injured, some of them they dead in that day. Because that, I don't know, I feel this is very important. Just not to feel more scared about that, just to feel what this make for us, the damage. Just for remember,
to understand,
even no one can understand why this has happened. Yeah,
I want to talk to you about what happened since then, Hisham. What's happened since then, and how you have changed as a result of what happened that day. We will do that right after this break. You're on Magic Talk with me, Ryan Bridge, and Hisham El-Zazor, who's a Syrian refugee here to New Zealand. And 7 months before the events of March last year, he arrived in New Zealand and completely unaware of the horror that would follow. The last 12 months have been quite a journey for Hisham. We'll speak about that next.
Listen to Magic anywhere on Rover, which is also where you can hear exclusive Music Plus stations like Rover Classical. It's the greatest music ever composed in HD. We've brought the concert program to you without all the waffle. Symphonies, serenades, suites and sonatas from the geniuses that really have stood the test of time. Bach, Beethoven and Mozart, Schubert, Strauss and Handel. It's the world's greatest music whenever you want it. Baroque, classical, romantic and 20th century. Download Rover and search Classical. Rover Classical. Recommended by Magic. Magic Talk Auckland. Accurate traffic.
Toyco Lego Day this Saturday.
Pretty good tonight, staying nice and sunny down to a low of 14. Good afternoon. Southern Motorway southbound, pretty slow in patches all the way from the CBD to Wellesley. 45 minutes to Morocco and 56 now to Drury. Southwestern also slow patches both ways. And northbound slow around Mangere, and southbound some delays getting to Whitty. Northwestern heading out just over half an hour to Lincoln Road.
20 to 40% off all Lego this Saturday, Toyco Wagner Place, St. Luke's.
Hop into the warehouse for the biggest Easter range. The Red Rabbit Hunt is back and there are over 40,000 instant prizes up for grabs. Find a Red Rabbit hiding in store for your chance to win. Find everything Easter under one roof at the warehouse. Conditions apply.
At Mitre 10, you can earn AirPoints dollars and spend them too. Yep, whether you're shopping in store or online, spend $75 or more and pay for all of it or part of it with your AirPoints dollars. That means you could be a lot closer to that special something for the house, garden or deck that you've been eyeing up. So get that AirPoints card into your wallet right now. Get it done right with Mitre 10. T's, C's and exclusions apply. See online or in-store for details.
Here's to you, local business owners. Another year nearly done. The late nights have turned into bankable pitches, invoices are created and victory dances are danced. It's time to celebrate. The new busiest sale on now. Warehouse Stationery. Business made easy.
Language lesson 23. Possessions.
나는 큰 배가 있다. 나중에 보고 싶니?
I have a big ship. Would you like to see it someday?
나는 큰 배가 있다. 나중에 보고 싶니?
I have a big belly. Would you like to see it someday?
큰 배.
Big ship.
큰 배.
Big belly.
Beware the dangers of almost the same. Always ask for Toyota genuine parts.
New from Sanderson Vitamins. Premium New Zealand green-lipped muscle 20,000. This high-strength natural joint food is a naturally balanced combination of omega-3, amino acids, minerals and other nutrients found in joint tissue. This unique, naturally occurring joint food supports flexibility, comfort and mobility. Ask for Sanderson Premium New Zealand Green-Lipped Muscle 20,000 at leading independent pharmacies and health stores. Take as directed, Sanderson, Auckland.
It's Magic Drive with lipospheric vitamin C, a must-have travel companion.
The Ryan Bridge Drive Show, live from Christchurch on the first anniversary of the Christchurch Mosque attacks. Magic Talk.
Just gone now, 24 minutes after 4. You're with me, Ryan Bridge, on Magic Talk. After the news at 4:30, I'd like to hear from you on 0800 844 747. Your experiences that day, what you remember from March the 15th of 2019. Right now, though, in the studio, I'm broadcasting to you from Christchurch, is Hisham El-Zazor. He's a Syrian refugee and was shot in the leg during the March 15 attacks, I should say. The leg is doing better now, better than before, still in physio and still medication needed and nerve damage, but better than it was. Hisham, you came from a war zone to New Zealand and experienced a terror attack here, which is ironic beyond belief. How are you doing mentally now?
Yeah, for mentally, it's like it's up and down, I can say. Sometimes I feel, but of course the community support in general was very useful, all the New Zealander, and this is make it a little bit easier for us. And for mentally, sometimes just it's sleep problems. Some pictures in my head. It came to me the most of the time. I try to forget these pictures about like I do courses. I try to involved in something to try to be busy, to not have that pictures because I have a family and I need to look forward. And
were you not used to this type of, the sound of bullets, all of those things coming from a war zone like Syria?
Yeah, I did. Usually, in Syria, it's normal there. It's a life to live the war, because you will not be surprised if you will hear bad news like this there. But when we came here to New Zealand, it was like. It was a big present for us to come to New Zealand, and about what we hear about New Zealand, many people, because I was live in Jordan, many people, they told me, oh, you are very lucky to go to New Zealand. It's better than Europe, better than all the countries, and it's very safe. And also the New Zealander, they are very high acceptable people. They accept the people and they accept the difference between the people. Yeah, because that I was feel I'm lucky for this. And when we came here, I see the smile everywhere, and the people, they accept me, and it was very nice. And this give you chance to relax more. And when this happened, 50 March happened, this completely just the opposite. Like, you are very relaxed. You don't think even you can't put this in numbers. I will not tell you 100%, even no numbers for chance to something like this could happen. Yeah, but when this happened, it give even the New Zealander, give anyone this shock, because no chance to. I was even also in a place like the mosque or the church. This is a place for the people who they come to take off them problems, to be more relaxing than outside the mosque or the church or any place for any kind of religion they pray in this place. Yeah, because of that also we were very relaxing there, and this is suddenly happened. This completely shock.
Yeah, total shock.
Yeah.
And as you say, the exact opposite of what you had come to know about New Zealand as well. You went to the service today, Friday prayers, of course. Were you scared going to the prayers today with everybody there?
No, it was safety. It was safety. There are a lot of police and also in a closed place, and just give me the remember for that day. Just for that, I was in the morning. I was very stressed in the morning, but I should go because no choice. And it was very nice, and the organizer was very nice, and safety, and and I hope and we hope, not just me, we hope this is it will still as remember in New Zealand, and this will not happen for anyone in this country. Yeah, and this country back, and in 50 March, this is the opposite also happened after 50 March. The New Zealander and the Christchurch proved to all the world it's more because the behavior prove it's more peaceful by the New Zealander and the community's behavior. How we catch our hand each other, and how we support each other. This is another picture proof to all the world. It's more peace, even if this is happened. Yeah, it was very sad, and we have bad time last year about that. Yeah, but the behavior was completely the opposite was very good.
Hisham, thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming in to see me today. I really appreciate it. Hisham El-Zazor, who's a Syrian refugee now living in New Zealand, of course, with his family, and was caught up in the events of March the 15th of 2019. Today we look back on that day, and I'd like to hear from you. Take me back to that Friday. What were you doing? Where were you?
Army intelligence analyst has been held in jail in Virginia since last May after refusing to testify in an inquiry into WikiLeaks. She was scheduled to appear in court on Friday, but the judge ruled her appearance is no longer necessary.